Hello everyone, my name is Ipatov and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to examine how to create a Zugzwang. But first of all, let's ask ourselves what Zugzwang is. So Zugzwang is a situation when a side cannot move. So whenever it moves, it worsens his position. So for example, both sides are in Zugzwang on the queen side. For example, if the white king moves, then we're going to lose the b5 pawn. So we cannot play king e7 or king b7 because the black king is going to capture the b5 pawn. Likewise, the black king is also in Zugzwang. So if it's black to move, and if he has to play with a king, then black is going to lose the b6 pawn. So whenever the black king moves like to d6, d5, c4, b4, d4, white is going to capture the pawn on b6. So both kings are in Zugzwang on the queen side. So whoever moves loses. But in this position, we still have pawns on the king side. So this is the key to the solution of this problem. I'm going to play out this position versus a training bot on chess.com, and let's see what happens. So I'll be white, and as I already explained, I should reach the position where black has to move with the king. Then I'll be able to capture the b6 pawn. But for this, I have to make sure that black is running out of moves on the king side with his pawns. So the pawn structure on the king side is symmetrical, although there is a subtle difference that the black pawn is on h6 and not on h7. So our pawns are on f2, g2, and h2, but the black pawns are f7, g7, and h6. So what happens if I try to follow black and play h3? So my idea, as I already explained, is to make sure that the black pawns on the king side cannot move. Then black will have to move with the king, and then we will be able to pick up the b6 pawn and win the game. So black plays f6. Let's see if I can play move f3. Or maybe I have something else. I like move g4, for example. Because when I play g4, I take both squares f5 and h5 under control. So f5 and h5. So after I play g4, black can only play with the g pawn. Yeah, I like move g4. So I limit the black's options up to playing g4. So as I said, black can only play with the g pawn, so he cannot move his f or h pawns or play with the king. So g6. If black played g5, then I would have played f3, and black would have been in a real Zugzwang. So he wouldn't be able to move the king side pawns, and neither the king on the queen side. So g6, like the best defense, I assume. So now black can play h5, f5, or g5 still. So I have to be very careful because I can end up in a losing position. So if I play f3 here, then black plays g5, and what happened then I'll be in Zugzwang. So we should not let it happen. So I cannot play f3 because after f3 I'm not even making a draw, I'm just losing. So then I have to play either f4 or h4. But move h4 makes more sense, so I think this is quite important, dear followers, that we should keep the pawn on f2 because it lets us play either f3 or f4. So we have a choice. So let's play move h4 because anyways our only move with the h pawn is to h4. So f5. Okay, I think we can take, and now we can see what I meant a few seconds ago. So our pawn is still on f2. So if I play here h5, then the black's only move is f4, and then I have move f3, and black is in Zugzwang. So I think this line is winning. But if I play here f4, then black plays h5, and then I'm in Zugzwang and I'm losing. Well, likewise, I think I can play f3 here, and black will be in Zugzwang. So I can play either h5 or f3. I think it might be just a transposition. Okay, let's play h5. f4, and here we play f3, and I think black is in Zugzwang because he cannot move his kingside pawns, h6 or f4. They're all fixed, they cannot move any further, and as we see, black had to move finally with his king, so black played king d4, but now I can win the b6 pawn. So king takes b6. So black's counterplay is to take on f3 and try to create a pass pawn as well. So let's see what can I do. So king c5, king f3, b6, king moves to somewhere, let's say to g2, b7, f3, like this. Okay. Okay, king c5 I'll play. King takes f3, b6. b7. 3. Okay, I have to promote. f2. It seems it should be winning. However, if we did not have h5 and h6 pawns on the board, maybe that would win a draw because of a stalemate. So let's imagine there are no pawns on h5 and h6. Though I would be able to improve my position by bringing the queen to g4. Let's say queen g4 check. Black would have played king h2, queen f3, king g1, and after queen g3 check, black would have had to move king h1, putting like then I would have to take on f2, and that would be stalemate, a draw. But there are still pawns on the board, so maybe I can do something about this. So what can we do? I'm calculating pretty funny line starting with queen b1 just immediately. Maybe I can win a tempi and do it later, but let's say if I play queen b1, f1, queen, take, king d4, queen f2, for example, king e4, and then I'm going toward the h6 pawn, meanwhile shouldering the black king away. It looks quite promising, but of course I think I can save a tempi and first check the black king away, and only then control the f1 square with my queen. So what can I do? Let's see if I check. Okay, makes sense, king h3. Let's say queen f7, king g2 I assume. Okay, check. I'm coming closer with my queen. This is a typical technique versus the pass pawn. Okay, we'll come closer. King g1. Okay. Maybe I could have played king d4 immediately, but I just want to show what black's defense is here. So queen f3, black is going to play king g1, I assume. Queen should check, and now black is going to play king h1, and I would not be able to capture an f2. So I assume, as I already had said, that position without pawns on h5 and h6 would be in a draw because of stalemate, because I wouldn't have had anything better than taking f2 or giving a perpetual, or just letting black to queen, which would lead to queen versus queen endgame, which is an easy draw. But in this position, the difference is that we still have those pawns. So my idea is to trade queens. So for example, I would take the f1 square under control with my queen, black would queen, we would trade queens, and then I would rush toward the h6 pawn with my king. So I see it as the only possible plan to win. So queen f3 check, king g1, and I think I cannot improve my position any further with my queen, so I think it's time to move toward the h6 pawn. But when doing so, I think we should, while going for the h6 pawn, we should try to shoulder the opponent's king away. So take. Maybe the direct king d6, king e6, king f6, king g6 would be also winning, but I think it's a bit more correct how to put it. We go through a slightly different route, but at the same time we try to show their opponent's king away. Okay, king g1 is a little, like, not the most resistant defense. I think king e2, king f5, king f3, king g6 would be also winning. But king g1 doesn't make sense, and after king f5 we can see that finally we win. King g6. And after king e6, king g4, king g6, we're about to promote the h pawn into the queen, which leads to easily won position. So let's go back and try to understand what happened. So this video was about creating a Zugzwang. So what we saw here that both sides were in Zugzwang on the queen side, so neither side could move the king. So if we moved our king, our white king, from a6, then black would have won the b5 pawn. And likewise, if it were black to move and he had to play with the king, then we would have won the b6 pawn. So neither side can play on the queen side, so only pawn moves on the king side are left. So our task as white is to make sure that black runs out of moves with his pawns, and it's his move to play, so that he would have to play with the king and let us take on b6. So that's why I played h3 and try to copy black's moves on the king side, and eventually we managed to get black into Zugzwang. We won the b6 pawn. Later on we transposed into winning pawn endgame by giving our queen for the black's advanced pawn f2. So I hope you find this video useful. Thank you for watching. It was Ipatov. See you in the next videos.